nobody drops on the 14th of January. Like
pretty early in the year.
commonly, it doesn't happen. We were like, man, let's do something they don't normally do. Let's drop in January. When it comes to like the album art or single art cover, I like to communicate a metaphor of some sort. So literally and metaphorically, it's all about the bag.
Ooh.
I'll hint something, right? I might have my own concert in LA.
Whoa. Hello and welcome to it. The name is Ntokozo Botjie and this is NB the podcast, otherwise known as Please Note the Podcast. And we kickstart this one with one of my favorites, a friend, a bro, all the way from KwaMashu, Durban, based in Johannesburg right now, otherwise known as Monde to some. The whole world knows him as Halo Yagami, an R&B soul superstar, Afro pop extraordinaire, a fashionista. And we have him in the building right now. He broke out in the scene in 2022 with a record titled Usiba. And since then, he's been giving us music, sharing singles. He's here because he's got a new single out right now. But we'll get into all of that. I just want you to say what's up and thank you so much for joining us.
What's good, my brother? Are you well?
Hi, we are alive, my dog. I'm alive. So tell us about that journey, right? When you're a 15-year-old and you're deciding to take on this journey and you're like, okay, where do I start? Because now we know you. You've got the amazing music. You've worked with the Shakanas, the Javas, the Radics of the world. But at 15, like, how do you gather yourself and say, this is the journey I'm taking? And what's the first step?
Okay, so at 15, I'm like consuming a lot of like the music around me, like the music that my grandmother was playing, my uncle, my cousins, and obviously my influences as well. At 15, I wasn't sure I could sing it. I don't think I was. I think what happened was I was singing along to records, right? Singing it along to Erica. And then I'm like, nah, man, why does it sound kind of good?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I started exploring the fact that I actually have a voice, you know? So high school, the first year or the second year of high school, grade 9, when I got my first laptop, that's when everything went off.
Yeah, and you've never looked back since then.
I've never looked back. I knew I wanted to be a producer and a singer at the same time.
Shoot back to now, right? The collaborations that you've garnered over the years.
Yes.
Marcus Harvey's of the world, Maclara Doughboys. Tell us about finding your voice within a class of other extraordinaires that you're sharing this room with.
Genius artists, by the way. My brothers are amazing. So with me, right, I felt like my journey was a bit different, hence why I took some time to release music. You know what I mean? It was only 2 years ago that I started dropping. So in the pool of artists and my friends included, I feel like my message was different. So the way I communicated, it needed like a different approach. So I feel like my approach is what differs. You know, my blends with Maskandi, with R&B, just like from my upbringing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's...
So tell us about the writing part, right? Because you just explained the sound. And before you get into the writing part, I think I'm jumping a few parts. Yes. I want to get in, as you said, you didn't release a lot of music, right? But in 2022, you release, and within a few months, the likes of Apple Music are calling you up to be on Up Next and featured on a number of different playlists on Spotify's and the Apple Musics of the world. Tell us about that and the feeling that you got. That was the the time frame planned like that, the trajectory? Was it something you had in mind?
Not really, if I'm being honest. I mean, me and George, when we were still in the same company, George Avakin, which is my dog, we wanted to drop unexpectedly, but also semi-prepared because we submitted like the EP on time, you know, and then on the 14th of January, that was the release date. Nobody drops on the 14th of January. It's like
pretty early in the year.
Commonly, it doesn't happen. It's very early. So we were like, man, let's do something they don't normally do. Let's drop in January. We dropped in January. February, the campaigns start coming in. I mean, I saw it from like the weekly streams. I was like, this is not normal. How are we hitting 50,000 and nobody knows me like that? You know, so that was overwhelming, humbling. I'll never forget that, like that first EP,
Yeah,
and the reception.
In between all of that, you're also telling your story in the fashion world.
Of course.
So I want to get into that. How do you how have you done it so smoothly? Like tell the story that you are not just one layer of an artist, but there's so many facades to you. And also, what inspires the fashion?
I feel like there's also like levels of why I love fashion. So like when I was younger, my uncle used to take like film pictures, like you see, with the light streak in the photo.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
looking burnt. But like from there, I started being interested in like photography, perspective in a sense. I like perspective, so I like patterns.
Yeah.
And then hip hop. I love hip hop. Hip hop and R&B. When I started wearing fitted caps in high school, I dread the time I wore skinny jean. Never going back. I did not know much better. So yeah, I've just always been fascinated by fashion. I remember back in Durban, in the hood, I think I was one of the first people to wear dashiki. You know that?
Yeah.
Petrol of milk. Remember in Joburg with the zippers on the side? It looks like a shirt.
That
but
was a huge phenomenon in the streets. Streetwear was going wild.
My hair was blonde. And you see, I'm in the hood.
Yeah.
Right? Who's this Chris Brown looking ass? in the hood. So, yeah, it was exciting, man. Like, I've just been growing with the sound because I wanted to match the music. So, yeah, that's why the classic, man, Lover Boy. But like I said, I love hip hop, so don't be surprised when you see me in a crazy two-piece looking like an alien.
Yeah, I want to talk about the photos, especially when it comes to your album covers and EP covers, and also the direction, the artist direction in that. I feel like there's so much stories to tell, and how much are these covers connected to the music as well?
Okay, they really are connected to the music because I'm very intentional with the covers. I don't like normal photos. I mean, it's good to have a nice photo. I won't lie. But like when it comes to like the album art or single art cover, I like to communicate a metaphor of some sort. We'll see, but I remember I had flowers. I had flowers and I was wearing like a mustard suit. Excuse me. Brown and mustard, I think. And then you can't replace the sun. I threw up the briefcase.
Yes. With the bluish, yellowish tint.
And the metaphor there was that obviously that you can't replace the sun, but also you can't replace it with the bag because the bag was so high up, right?
Yes.
So literally and metaphorically, it's all about the bag, right? everybody's trying to catch the back. That's why you see that motion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then head instead, I remember we took the head off and we were like, why have the head when already the title has one?
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We added like motion blur around it to make it look like I was flying. But like, yeah, I like being intentional. Like there's you see 432,
Yeah.
song 432. When I shot the video, there's these parts with like face clots where my face is covered. And the thing is, I always want people to like love the art first before they see who the person is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even in my house, I have pictures that don't have my face, but it's my picture and it's just artistic. And people think I downloaded it.
That's crazy. Do you think I'm going to digress a bit, but do you think in a day and age where people see so much of each other that things such as art and creation is diluted because it's first who is it that's doing it more than, am I being, drawn in by this work?
Yeah, it's just so many variables involved with showing your face. But I understand that we are in the business of showing your face.
Sure.
You know, and I love my face. I'm still gonna show it a lot, but like, there's that narrative that I want to communicate that it's about the art first, not the face, not the person.
Talking about finally found her, I want to talk. You can replace the sun and finally found her. The difference in sound and where you try to differentiate or add on to your art. Why those specific features? Why a bit more R&B and more soul compared to the alternative that you'd find in the works prior?
So like prior to those two projects, I went R&B alternative, and then a bit more Afro, and then I dropped an EP that was just Afro. And then I felt like there was a part of me that was getting lost, the soft part of me. So I wanted to slow it down again. And I felt like those people that I picked for that album could tell my stories with me better than just a solo album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to go back to being myself because I feel like I am more mellow. Usually I'm more mellow. Excuse me, why am I stumbling on my words? But yeah. I'm usually very calm. So I think when I make R&B, it feels like home. So that's why.
So let's move away from home because I heard some other records.
What did you hear?
Soul Freaka.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about meeting the music, why the funk, the groove. The soul is still there, but it's at a different kind of frequency.
So happy you spoke about that because he dropped a beautiful body of work, Soul Freaka. That's my friend. With Ezra as well. Like we have a lot of work with my house side. So like I've always loved house, bro.
Yeah.
Especially deep house. So like anything that has like fragments of R&B, I'm in there, bro. Like, and deep house is soulful.
Yes, the loungy feel that I got from the songs, it gave me Ibiza, Spain.
Yes.
It's house music at its purest form.
Yes.
So you've always wanted to play in that field?
Always. I know it's crazy. I've even like dabbled with like producing house music, and you'll hear ideas that I've been like kind of holding on. I haven't dropped them yet, but like, bro, I've always loved house, dance music.
Yeah.
I think in the early stages of my production, I had influences of people that were producing house. And I remember one of them was, his name was Too Love. I know, crazy.
Yeah.
And there was Uvisto. Uvisto was cooking things that I wanted to jump on before I knew that I loved singing that much. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I've always loved house, the production side, the singing side, the soul.
So we could be hearing a bit more.
You will.
Definitely.
I love house.
Cool. So 2025, top of the year. It makes sense now. This is how you started. You're like, it's January again. I'm going to do it again.
I'm going to do it again.
Alive is out right now. A beautiful piece of work.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It speaks of, I think, struggling.
Yes, it does.
But also triumphing the struggle.
Exactly. It's not just entirely.
Yeah. Tell us about that and why you wanted to share it with the world.
I wanted to start with that song for this year because I felt like there's been a lot of glitches. I'm going to call it glitches that I had to like overcome. And relationships that I had to let go of, and then some nurture more. You know what I mean? So it's just been a growing thing. So I wanted to capture that in a sense in a song to show that I just went through some stuff.
Yeah.
But I won the other day. So like it's not a song about losing to your demons. It's a song about actually beating them again and again.
All right, perfect, man.
Yes, sir.
So any visuals coming out as far as Alive is concerned?
You didn't see the visuals for Alive?
You must send the visuals for
I'm
Alive.
sorry, bro. I'm really sorry. I thought they came out 6 days ago.
That's why. But
yeah, it's very fresh though.
Yeah. So if you know, you know. Go check them out. They're out there already. Alive. The visuals are out. Halo, I just want this one of the segments that we have where you give us something to take home. Any words of encouragement, any idea you would like to share with the world, it is your chance to just look into the camera and, tell us something we can take home.
I feel like my contribution or my opinion, it's not long. It works out. It always works out. No matter how long it takes, it works out. And love is the key.
All right. Thank you so much for spending these moments of your life to just come and chop it up. Where can people find you? Are you doing personal shows? Are you going on tour? All of those, you just inform us.
You see, there's things that I really want to speak about, but like until like they send me the final flyer, then I'm like, okay, we're going. But like, I'll hint something, right? I might have my own concert in LA.
Whoa.
In June, right? But like, we'll speak about it further. Don't worry. There's a lot I'm planning. A listening session for, there's an EP.
Yeah.
Before June, I'm going to drop an EP.
Yeah.
Might be an album. Who knows? Excuse me. A new video. There's another video I'm dropping like in 2 weeks on the 4th of April.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot, bro.
There is a lot. You can certainly catch Halo Yagami on all social media. Check out his music on DSPs, all out there. Thank you once again for making this happen, my brother. And that was another episode of NB, the podcast, otherwise known as Please Note, the podcast. The name is Ntokozo Botjie, the only one on God's green earth. Thank you very much. And let's meet up again next time. Let's go.